Some of you may be thinking, well, so what if there's climate change? It won't really affect us. After all, it's like change in climate won't kill anybody. Wrong. It will affect the Earth in some way or another. In fact, it already has. Climate change has caused severe drought, which can cause a negative impact on food production, as well as human health. If human health gets negatively affected, it can cause an increase in mortality, a reduction in food supply, and less work activity. It goes without saying, if climate change wins, we lose. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do. Earth is already in critical condition due to harsh practices. Even if we tried, no solution can stop the damage we cause to Earth. Guess we should just stop now and watch our world turn to ruin. Wrong. This is a horrible way to think. Despite the fact climate change has grown larger, there is no reason to give up. Here are things you can do to slow down climate change. You can start by using healthy alternatives besides fossil fuels to use energy and rely on Earth-friendly products. Scientists deduct that using less gas emissions can help avoid a worst-case scenario. Replacing emissions with technology will not only help climate change side effects immensely, but will aid us in job development, as well as a more positive influence on the health of humans. Reduced meat intake can also help the environment. Overhunting can also lead to a climate change. By eating less meat or completely switching to a vegan lifestyle, you can efficiently fight climate change. Businesses and food retailers can help individuals make the switch by improving farming techniques and providing more plant-based goods. You should also, first and foremost, help the environment, because more carbon can help the environment. So go plant those trees and get rid of pollutants. Now you know more about climate change. Go make a difference. Go educate others and perform acts to slow down climate change. Climate change may be strong, but we're stronger. So go out there and help our environment. Because to quote the words of a wise man, climate change ain't that strange.
Our world is our home. It is where we live every day. It gives us all that we need in order to survive. But our Earth is getting destroyed as we speak. One very prominent issue in our world is livestock habitat destruction. Livestock covers about 45% of the Earth's agricultural land. Livestock is a main source of not only habitat destruction, but ocean dead zones, water pollution, and even species extinction. Livestock requires a lot of resources, nutrients, and space. They also require protein, minerals, vitamins, and water. If the quality and quantity of food for livestock are not met, then they can be negatively affected.
Causes of habitat destruction. There are many causes of habitat destruction. These include exposure to extreme wind and cold in a system that supports tree growth. The historical shelter belt is partially functioning. Exposure to extreme wind and cold in areas where plant options are limited or temporary shelter is preferred. Pollution plays a big role in habitat loss for animals. Humans on average throw away 8 million tons yearly into the ocean. Many wildlife lives in the ocean and coral reefs, and when their habitat are exposed to trash, it mostly results in their habitat being broken down and destroyed. Climate change is also a big part of habitat loss, as it increases water levels and storms in areas, which can lead to habitat loss for many animals in an ecosystem. Livestock water requirements are influenced by several factors, including the rate of gain, type of diet, feed intake, and environmental temperature. When the quality/quantity and/or distribution of drinking water is limited, livestock health and production can be negatively impacted.
But there may be a solution to all these problems. Plant-based meat is one option. Plant-based meat is a very good and effective solution to livestock habitat destruction. Not only does plant-based meat solve the problem of limited space and food availability for livestock, but it also reduces saturated fat and increases vitamin content of said meat. Studies also show that plant-based meat reduces the risks of being diagnosed with heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. Because plants don't require as many environmental resources like water, food, and space, they are able to counteract climate change. Plant-based meat also increases your potassium levels. It also lowers your cholesterol and blood sugar. In addition to all these, plant-based meat helps improve your sleep levels. Much like exercise, comforting sleep deprivation starts from the inside. and plant based meat is one of the best ways to keep your body healthy and improve lives.
Hey, have you seen recent changes in the land around? The fresh soil we had once may now look like coarse dirt. Maybe your local fruit farms have stopped producing as fast as they used to, or the personal garden you have in your backyard just doesn't seem to grow in the poor earth. These rapid differences are mainly caused by a process called land degradation. Now, land degradation has many different variations, but let's focus specifically on one: desertification. Desertification ruins the land around us so that it is hard to make use of it. Sometimes desertification is caused by natural processes, but it is most regularly caused by human sources. Activities such as overfarming, excessive use of fertilizers, and chopping down trees are leading origins in the increase of desertification lands. Features like pursuing the use of ground for commercial purposes and exploiting land will only harm the environment. The common use of these practices harm both animals and humans. Desertification makes the living conditions for animal species hard to survive in, thus affecting their biodiversity. Humans face food insecurities due to crop failure and reduced yields. The loss of vegetation and food endangers humans. Desertification can also increase the risk of zoonotic diseases such as COVID-19. Studies show that land desertification is exceptionally high in countries of Africa and Asia. After a little research, we can tell it is because of the repeated increase in agriculture. Groups in poverty turn to agriculture for income, since it is the sole way of living for them. The increase in land degradation only harms the people, creating more and more poverty-stricken areas in which agriculture practices are highly common. These people are not aware of the problems they are creating for themselves. Before you get too worried, though, remember that there are ways to prevent the increase of desertification. We can take measures like integrating land to protect it from erosion, salinization, and other forms of degradation, turning to alternative livelihoods that do not depend on traditional land uses such as ag- dry land aquaculture, greenhouse agriculture, and tourism-related activities is less demanding on local land and natural resources, and yet provides sustainable income. Giving local communities the capacity to prevent desertification and to manage dry land is another prevention method. Taking all these measures to save our ecosystem is a necessity for our Earth to thrive. We need to actively take part in raising awareness for the growing problems in our areas, such as desertification. If we all can contribute to decreasing land desertification, we will be able to change living conditions for animals and humans all around the world.